So, we need criminal justice reform. Yeah, Maurice Husserari coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So, we need criminal justice reform. It is an example of fictitious notions. Again, a bunch of nonsense that black people believe that just simply not true. But this is something that you will always hear many of the left constantly repeat and believe, especially blacks on the left believe this idea or notion that the criminal justice is basically been mistreating black people. It's been harsh for black people, and they base this mostly off of the mass incarceration of blacks, or the rate in which blacks are being incarcerated in America, and they label it as mass incarceration, and various other factors, how much black people interact negatively with the justice system. And they'll say, as a result of this, we need criminal justice reform. Right? Well, the problem, though, is that black people and the leftists, they put all of the blame on the justice system and the prison industrial complex, when the real issue is the behavior of so many blacks. Again, and when I say blacks, I mean they're ghetto blacks. If we look at the criminal justice system over, say, the last 80 years or so, there hasn't been much change at all in the criminal justice system. Maybe a change in the mentality of the people. For instance, we talk about the racist South back in the day, where that racist South no longer exists today. But yet, we see a greater participation in the justice system and a negative interaction with the justice system with black people today, even though we see that America has gotten significantly better for blacks. You know, the black people are no longer treated like second-class citizens in the way they did, say, 80 years ago, especially in the South. So if nothing has really changed about the justice system, what we have seen, the behavior of blacks change. You know, we always many times talked about the impact that the turbulent 60s had upon the black family, or the deterioration of the black family. Well, when we saw the deterioration of the black family, we also saw a deterioration in morals, most notably because you had a bunch of children being raised by single women clustered in housing projects with no men around. No men, no discipline. And as a result of this, we saw the hood, and basically a thing called the hood that really truly didn't exist prior to that. And we also saw the rise in the ghetto mentality, or ghetto culture. And it's that ghetto culture that's responsible for the increased deterioration in morals, and the increase in black folks having negative interaction with the justice system and police officers and the prison system. And you could talk about like the prison industrial system till the cows come home, but if black people didn't participate in crime at such high rates, now I always talk about the crime rate, you know, 13% of the population responsible for half the murders and half the violent crime in this country. That didn't exist prior to the deterioration of the black families and black morals. Now, of course, we saw the war on drugs and the war on crime and laws passed, but the fact is they both are a response to the lack of morals, which leads to high crime rates. So, again, there's nothing wrong with the criminal justice system, because most black people, including myself, have never had an issue with the basically justice system or the prison industrial complex. I've never been to jail, never been arrested, because I don't live a life that's going to cause me to do that. So the problem isn't the justice system. We don't need to reform the justice system. We don't need criminal justice reform. The truth is, we need nigger reform. We need to reform niggers, because if we had less niggers amongst black people, which we have entirely too many, there'll be less black people out here doing the things that cause them to have basically negative interaction with the justice system and the prison industrial complex, then there would be no mass incarceration. So we need to reform the behavior of black people. We need to get back to the traditional. If we get back to traditional, back to what the black family was prior to the turbulent 60s and the deterioration of the black family, we'll have the same results. We'll have basically crime rates and prison rates on par with that of white people. Anyway, if you ever hear any of these people crying about we need to reform the criminal justice system, well, now you know, and knowing it's half the battle. And it's always y'all, until next time.